Other times we can be rational and stay cool about stuff and figure things out before we act, on our emotions or our first initial, reaction, which might be even coming from a point of view of fear and things like that. But we have both our feet in both worlds right now in one way. Would you say that that's correct?
Yeah, exactly. We have our feet in two worlds, and from the medicine wheel teachers, the medicine wheel teachers say that the way they understand it is that all the kingdoms of the world are complete. The plant kingdom's complete, the animal kingdom's complete, and so on. All the others, all except humans, and we're not yet fully human. We're still two-legged, and we're learning to become human beings in the full sense of that. But we've got a way to go.
We indeed got a way to go, and I guess that gets us into different paths of knowledge and things. And as right now, if we talk about the current times, do you feel positive in terms of the future where we're going, human development, etc., or are you feeling that things are going down the drain, Leo?
No, both at the same time. Certain things are going down the drain, and they need to and have to go down the drain. I think we're going into a massive worldwide crisis, starting financially because of all the funny money and the financial shenanigans that have gone on.
Yes,
and we're going to be really challenged to get back to basics as to what's real. Exchange pieces of paper called money are a fiction. Okay, they work at the moment because we all collectively believe in them, but in due course, we're going to really be forced to how can I put it? Challenge to get with what's really true and what really works, and what is long lasting. 2012. Many prophecies and so on and so forth, and it's not just 2012. It's the whole period now, which is starting as old systems break down around us, and the way that the world has been breaks down around us. Not just religion, but banking, the use of oil, the abuse of our environment, and so on and so forth. We're going to have to learn a whole heap of new tricks.
Who do you think would be best, have the best ability to get through such times? If we talk about a type of human being in one way, I guess the one who is scared and fearful of all these things, or the one who's more laid back and can kind of go with the flow of this.
The ones who can go with the flow. The ones who can go, as I have some friends who can go down into the wilderness and pick leaves. They know which ones are eatable and which are poison, and can go and find food in all sorts of places. I was enjoying nettles the other day.
Yes.
That a friend cooked for me. There's all sorts of food out there that's free gratis, and people who understand things like that, and people who can adapt.
Exactly, adaptable people. Yeah,
adaptable people, and people who are with and accustomed to nature without, necessarily be surrounded by bricks and central heating and expect electricity to go on when you switch it on, etc., etc. The people who are resourceful will survive just fine. The people who are dependent on the system, being as it is, will have great difficulty.
And what can you say in terms of who's responsible for the situation potentially that might happen in the future? Then, if these things that people expect no longer functions and things like that, would you say that it's the responsibility of the people themselves who ultimately have put themselves in that situation because they haven't lifted their head and thought wider or bigger with a bigger perspective? Or again, is it the fault, if you will, of authoritative authoritative figures, government, etc., who has been telling us for all these years, we will take care of you, we will provide for you. Who do you look at in that situation, Leo?
I think in the bigger picture, we human beings have collectively done it to ourselves, all of us. There's, let's see, the financial problems started 30-something years ago, and probably long before that, really, but certainly since the 70s. And it's been building up with ever greater funny money and ever greater debt. And the world really is living on the most incredible debts, which are never going to be paid. So
who are we going to pay that money to? Sorry that I interrupt you there, but who are we? Who do we owe this money? All right, this is just ridiculous.
Okay. Pensions, entitlements, Medicare, all that kind of thing. There aren't going to be any. It's not going to work. All sorts of liabilities have been built up to the future. To people, some people pay more money than the job's worth. Free this, free that, free the other. But that works so long as there's a good bunch of people earning and paying taxes. That works. But if the whole thing comes adrift, the various American cities are on the verge of bankruptcy. They can't pay their municipal employees, and of course they can't pay the pensions. There's going to be a lot of pensions unpaid. There's going to be a lot of expectations unmet. The things on the verge of falling apart, which I think is probably going to happen next year, 2011. From my researches, and some shamanic journeys I've done with people.
Yeah.
In groups, which is remote viewing, really, which is much best done in a group, because you build up a picture from a whole bunch of people. It's very interesting indeed. And time and again, 2011 comes out as being the year where the system as it stands implodes.
When you said that, do you think that, because again, I mean, human beings are we invent things, we're resourceful, we have, especially at a time of need, if you will, we always find a way, it seems. That's how we've survived, I think, in the past. And we always figure out a way to get through things. When you say that, do you think that a natural system of value will arise at the side as the old one collapse, or do you think that the old one will collapse dramatically first, and then it will be quite a long period before something or more organic, if you will, grows out of that? What do you think?
No, I think it'll happen all at once, because you're quite right. We are most incredibly resourceful, and there are people who are ready for this as it stands. There are some people I know who are really ready for this, and will be able to look after themselves and others fine. So I think that as one way of living, shall we say, collapses around us, other ways will be found and will come together. And they have to be ways that are far more based in the heart than in the head and the profit motive. And so I think actually the future is extremely bright, because what's going to collapse is past its sell-by date, well and truly past its sell-by date, and is not nurturing the best in people. I mean, just to take the incredible frauds done by the banksters of putting together phony bundles of mortgages and other financial stuff, and then selling it as if it was top class around the world. Yeah. And this is, those kind of things and those kind of ways that don't give a monkey's about what happens to other people down the road, as long as, I get my big profits and my bonus.